Enthusiasm about the November general election in the United States is average among voters, according to a recent Gallup poll. But it's a right that some people told VOA Spanish should not be taken for granted.
Voting is kind of the most fundamental way of making your voice heard.
We must vote for the things we know will help our country.
Americans can vote in person on Election Day or early at special polling locations. They can also send their ballots via the U.S. Postal Service.
Every state in the country allows some form of mail-in voting. The way that they differ is in how much they require an excuse, such as the voter being away from their home or their polling place on Election Day.
Where states offer vote-by-mail programs instead of absentee ones, registered voters receive their ballots automatically before Election Day. Social distancing measures at the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic boosted mail-in voting. More Democrats than Republicans embraced it during the 2020 and 2022 election cycles, according to Pew Research surveys. The messaging by President Joe Biden on the matter has been consistent throughout the years.
Voting by mail is a safe and convenient way to get more people to vote.
Biden's predecessor, Donald Trump, who is again running for president, has repeatedly expressed concern that voting by mail could lead to fraud.
Absentee is good. Mail-in, universal, is very, very bad. There's no way they're going to get it accurately.
Since 2023, however, several Republican politicians have stressed the need for the electorate to use all forms of voting. Trump has also shown an openness to it. On May 9th, he stressed on his Truth Social platform that, quote, absentee voting, early voting, and election day voting are all good options. Groups trying to mobilize Republican voters say they want to chip away at the voting by mail advantage Democrats have established.
The more voters that we can bring to the table in early voting and absentee voting in vote by mail through our efforts, the better position we'll be going into election night.
The Democratic Legislative Campaign Committee told VOA in a statement it doubts the Republican voters will be persuaded to shift their views. The committee also warned about legislation being considered by state Republicans to block mail-in ballots with minor errors and ban ballot drop boxes. Experts say it isn't easy to predict how voting by mail could impact this year's election result.
If you make mail balloting easier, then you do see higher turnout. It's not clear if there's a strong effect on the partisan outcomes, but because again, even Republicans will want to vote and they'll find ways of voting.
McDonald expressed confidence that the safeguards that election officials have in place will reduce the already historically small chances of fraudulent votes being cast in a presidential election. Veronica, Balderas, Iglesias, VOA News, Washington.